Hi everybody, it's Jamie from Play to Learn Preschool, and I'm glad you could join me today. I am here. We have 3 days of school at Play to Learn this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I've heard from a lot of you that you actually go all week until Friday, and some of you who even have school all of next week. My hat goes off to you. We actually only have 3 days this week, and then we're off until January the 3rd, which is a Tuesday. But I'm here to share some circle time tips and activities that you can use the week before Christmas. So if your kids are anything like mine, the only thing they want to talk about or do during circle time is to tell you where their elf is, where their elf was hiding yesterday, where their elf is going to hide tomorrow, what their elf's name is. Maybe they'll get a little crazy and talk about what they asked for Christmas. But in my classroom, basically, circle time is recounting all the places where our elf has been hiding. So I try to rein some of that in. We do talk about it every day. But we do also have circle time lessons planned for our students this entire week. And so what I'm going to do is share with you a couple of tips and tricks for keeping their interest, which is harder this week than pretty much any other week of the year, except maybe the last week, but even then it's a little iffy. I think this week they're more excited than they are the last week of school. I'm going to tell you what we've been doing during circle time, both in our morning meeting, when I'm trying to kind of just keep them focused on what we're doing during the day. And then I'm also going to share with you what we're doing for our little mini lessons that are thematic midday. And those are usually content rich. And this week, pretty much it's just survival. Basically, my lesson plan book is objective: survive the week. Next objective: send all the kids home intact. Everybody's all in one piece. Nobody's gone too crazy. And so these are my tips and tricks. I shared this picture on Facebook over the weekend, but I found the cutest thing for Betsy. A couple of you were asking, who's Betsy? Betsy's my class puppet. She lives in a mailbox right above my easel on our circle time area. And I try to do fun things with her just to keep their interest. And so look what I found for Betsy. Betsy says hi. I got her an ugly Christmas sweater. Hi, everybody. So when I pull Betsy out of the mailbox and they're talking elves, my elf was here, my elf was on my tree, my elf was on my bookshelf, blah, 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 blah. And I pull Betsy out like this, their eyes go, what's Betsy wearing? I'm like, look, Betsy's got her Rudolph sweater on. Are you getting excited for Christmas? And the kids are like, yes. Now, this sweater, it's hard to find clothes for your puppet. I know that the small dog clothes definitely fit, but they usually have leg holes and all kinds of weird things, in which we can kind of work with it. But Betsy does need an elf costume. Now I'm going to be on the lookout. This is a wine bottle koozie. I think you're supposed to put the wine bottle in it and take it to an ugly Christmas, an ugly sweater party for Christmas. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is exactly the diameter of my wrist. It's perfect. I had to do a little trim because my hand is thicker than the neck, the bottle, the neck of the wine bottle, but it's the perfect little sweater for her. So Betsy and I come out trying to get the kids' attention, and today during circle time, I posed this question or this problem to them. We've been reading all about the gingerbread man, and we know that the sly fox, tricked him by having him get on his back to go across the river. We kind of recounted this morning during morning meeting all of the different ways that the fox ended up in the stories, and talked a little bit about how you have to be really clever to catch a gingerbread man or a gingerbread cookie. And one of the ways that we read about was in Jan Brett's Gingerbread Baby book, where Maddie built a gingerbread house to try to catch him, out in the woods, if you've ever read that fabulous book. And so I said to the students, have you ever built a gingerbread house? And then they started talking, oh, yes, I built one, but it didn't stick together. Or, I made one at my grandma's house, or my cousins. And, we made one this weekend with my cousins. I said, super. So we're talking. And then I posed this question on our easel, which is usually on the circle time carpet, but I moved it over here so you could see it. Have you ever built a gingerbread house, or have you ever made a gingerbread house? And the choices are, yes, I have, or no, not yet. And I let them use the pieces from their name songs this week to vote. And then we counted up. 7 people have already made a gingerbread house, and 3 people have never made one yet. And we talked about there's 4 more, we kind of we can match them up, and there's 4 more people who have than who haven't. And what if we made a gingerbread house here at school and tried to trap the gingerbread man in them, just like Maddie did in the story? And of course their eyes then are like, yes, that's a fabulous idea. We are going to build a gingerbread house and trap the gingerbread man. And so I had pre-assembled 3. We have 9 students, so I made 3. You could get away with 1 or 2, but I like them to be in small groups. Some gingerbread houses, they were Wilton, and I got them on sale at the craft store and used a coupon, of course. And before the students arrived, so over the weekend, I hot glued the pieces together. Now that is an important tip. If you have ever tried to build a gingerbread house with children, which I have as a mom, and you try to use the icing, to keep all the pieces together, they're going to lose interest, because that icing, you have to hold it for 10 minutes and then the pieces are falling everywhere. So I just went ahead, this is the finished one, and I just you can see the hot glue. See that? I just hot glued all the pieces together, and I presented them with these 3 bare gingerbread houses and just said, what could we do to this gingerbread house so that the gingerbread man wants to go inside of it, and then we can catch him and eat him for our snack. And so they're like, we need to decorate it. And so of course then I pull out all the candy, and I have the icing in little squeezy bags, that they can handle. Now this is a pretty spectacular, fantastic gingerbread house. And we decided, so we have 3 of them, that we would put them all over the room. And then tomorrow they're going to come back and check to see if we caught a gingerbread man. But I've got a plan for them. So tomorrow, instead of catching a gingerbread man, I'm going to have these little sparkly, they're like foam, again, from the craft store stickers. You could use cutouts or any kind of little foam pieces or gingerbread pieces. They've never seen these. I've never pulled them out before. And so I'm going to hide these all over the room. I'm going to put one near each gingerbread house, almost like little gingerbread footprints all over the floor. And so when they come in, I'll say let's check to see if the gingerbread man was here overnight. Let's see, if we caught him. And I'll have them find all of the, the little gingerbread footprints around the room. We didn't catch him. We can't eat these for snack. That's never gonna work. But he was here because he left all of these little clues, these little footprints all around our room. So we've got to come up with another plan. Maybe we need to make signs to say, come on in, gingerbread man. And so then I'm going to, tomorrow, pull out paper and markers after they found their clues and have them make signs to put up around the room, which is really good for writing and for reinforcing the importance of the written word and literacy. And I've done this in the past. I know it's really effective. So they're going to put signs up, that say, stay here, gingerbread man, or come on in. And then on Wednesday, tomorrow we're going to work on the signs. And then on Wednesday, inside one of the gingerbread houses, I have actually written some clues, and I'm going to read them to the kids. It's kind of like a little scavenger hunt. I thought about printing these up for you, but they're really going to have to be specific to your space. So I can't really, I'll tell you what my space says, but you're gonna have to kind of write your own if you'd like to do this. And so I just write, look everywhere you can. You can't find me, I'm the gingerbread man. And I write that on every one. And then I just put little clues I'm hiding in a place that's very cool. It's where we keep all the juice at school. And so they'll find this inside the gingerbread house, and then they'll run over to the refrigerator and open it up to find, another clue. And, this one will say look everywhere you can. You can't find me, I'm the gingerbread man. And, it will say I'm resting over in the quiet space. And so then they'll run over to where we have our quiet space and try to find him over there. And there'll be another clue, and then it will say look everywhere you can. You can't find me, I'm the gingerbread man. Red, orange, yellow, blue, and green. By the art easel I can be seen. And then they'll run over, and I just have these clues hidden all over the room. And then of course, instead of the last clue, I'm going to have a tub of plate of gingerbread cookies that they can decorate for our snack that day. So I just try to keep it really exciting, because anything that's less than really exciting is not going to hold their attention against wanting to talk about where their elf is hidden. That's the truth. So that's what we're doing for our morning meeting, circle time. The first day, today we decorated the gingerbread houses to try to trap him. Tomorrow, I'm going to hide these little gingerbread footprint clues all over the room for them to find. And then on the last day, they're going to go on this little scavenger hunt where I've written clues all over the room. So I'm happy to write a couple of these up in the comments if that will be helpful. Just let me know. Okay, so that's my first trick, is just to keep it exciting. And then for our mid-morning circle time lessons, I have 3 planned because we only have 3 days this week. So I'm going to share those with you. And again, try to just show you how I'm incorporating some elements of excitement and magic that maybe I don't normally have in my circle time lessons. So these 3 things are all from my printable Santa Christmas unit. And how many clues do I do? It depends on the class. So this class, this pre-K class that I have right now, they're really with it and really, I don't know, they're just really into this unit and pretty, they're pretty outgoing kids. And so I'll probably do like 6 or 8 with my younger kids. And we didn't do it this year because the way that the calendar worked, they finished last week. With my younger kids, I might only do 4. It really depends on your group and how long their attention span is. This group will really do. Like, they'll go all around the room. The problem I always have is, I've hidden the clues, and then as soon as a couple of them pick up that the clues are hidden, they stop listening to what I've written on them, and they just start looking around the room for clues. And so I really have to hide them, like, in the refrigerator, in the paper towel dispenser, all these little places in the room where they wouldn't think to look. So. All right, so here's our mid-morning circle time. One of the skills that we've started to introduce to our pre-K students is rhyming. And it's a tough skill because from the beginning of the year, we're really focusing on what is the first sound of each word. We do that with the sound box, and we're doing it with their names. What sound does the first letter of your name make? And then rhyming, of course, you have to turn your brain completely in the other direction and listen to the end of the word to make sure that the ends match, which is tough. So one of the fun ways that we like to practice is I hold up these cards that either have reindeer on them or Santas. And if you don't have this printable, you could just hold up 2 rhyming things. And so this one is, pie, tie. Let's listen to the end of the word. Does that rhyme? Pie, tie. And what I've done then is given each kid a set of jingle bells to hold in their lap. And if they hear the rhyming pair, then they jingle their bells. Oh, yeah, that rhymes. Okay, make them quiet. Let's read another one. This one is tree, bee. Does that rhyme? Their bells, put it back down. Just a fun way to keep it, to keep it exciting. Instead of saying yay or nay, they can ring their jingle bells. You could do this with any skill. I'm going to pull things out of a bag, and if it starts with S like Santa, ring your bells. Anything just to keep their attention. We're in survival mode this week, people. Survival mode. All right, so here's another one. Snail, whale. Does that rhyme? Yes, it rhymes. And then, we go all the way through them. If one doesn't rhyme, then they're supposed to keep their bells quiet, which, well, you know how that goes. I can't find one that doesn't rhyme. Oh, here we go. No, they're in here. Ball, fox. Does that rhyme at the end? No. All right, keep your bells quiet. You might have to practice that. So that's what we're going to do, or that's what we did during mid-morning circle time today. And then another fun one that we like to do is a movement circle time, because they've got ants in their pants. They're just so excited about this week, right? And so this is a fun little poem, little action poem that I kind of just made up. And what it is are all of these, let me see if I can hold them up so you can see, all of these reindeer with different colored noses. So I have a reindeer with red nose, a reindeer printed with green nose, one with a white nose, all the different colors. And so I'll pass one of these out to each kid in the circle, and I have to tell them, listen for your color. And then I read the little poem that goes with the thing, and they have to listen to what it is. And then the person who has that reindeer color stands up and does the action. So for example, if they have the reindeer with the black nose, and I'll say, reindeer, reindeer, nose so black, hug a friend, then pat his back. So the person who has the black nose reindeer finds a friend, gives him a hug, and pats his back. And then everybody else does it. And we can kind of say together, reindeer, reindeer, nose so black, hug a friend and pat his back. Easy enough. and then I'll read the next one. If you're the one with the red reindeer nose. This is easier when Gemma's here. Gemma, it's easier when you're here. All right, and I'll say, reindeer, reindeer, nose so red, rub your belly and pat your head. And so then the person who has the red one, will do that, and then everybody else can follow along. And we just kind of go through all of the different colors and all the little poems. They're kind of silly. I just kind of wrote them, little rhyming things. And I always do this one last. Reindeer, reindeer, nose so gray. Now it's time to go and play, and that's how I kind of dismiss them back to their centers, or to snack time or whatever. So anything to get them up and moving and listening, so they can listen for their color or their action is usually an effective circle time activity. And then the last one I'm going to put back here on my pocket chart, and it's a free printable. I'll leave the link as soon as I forgot to grab it before I went live, but I will leave it as soon as I log off. And it's this cute little Santa song to the tune of Bingo, and the reindeer pin. Yes, the reindeer in this. Everything's in the Santa unit. And all right, give me 1 second here to take these off. Okay. All right, so this one is, you could do it in your pocket chart or even on the floor. And I just tell the students, we're gonna spell the word Santa. And so it's gonna be backwards because I'm on the selfie cam, but it's S-A, it would have been good for me to put these in order before I went live. N-T-A, and that spells Santa. And we sing the little song. I know a man with a long white beard, and Santa is his name. Oh, S-A-N-T-A, 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 and Santa is his name. Oh, and they love learning how to spell, Santa's name. I say, I'm going to cover up the first letter. What's the first letter? It's S. So I cover it up with a Santa. I say, what does Santa say? He says, ho, ho, ho. Good. So this one says ho. So this time we say, I know a man with a long white beard, and Santa is his name. Oh, ho, A-N-T-A, ho, A-N-T-A, ho, A-N, and I keep going through. This time we're going to cover up the A, and so it's ho, ho, N-T-A, ho, ho, N-T-A, and then, we get to, we do it each verse, and then at the end, the kids are just yelling, ho, 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 it's the cutest thing. And I'll say, can you remember which letters under the first Santa? Santa. Yes, you're right. And we just go through the game. They love this song. It's free. You can print it, or if you don't have time to print it, which for the first 8 years that I did this activity, we just had it on a piece of index cards, with a red marker, and just write the words on index cards and then just draw a little Santa. That's what I did for 8 years before I had good clip art and fonts. So that's the one we're going to do on Wednesday. And they're just going to be yelling ho, 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 ho the whole time. So those are some of my tips and tricks. And then I just have one bonus tip for you. And it's my favorite Christmas book. It's one that I know that a lot of the elementary, kindergarten and first grade teachers love this book. And I love it too because it rhymes. And it has, I always say, it's like a cautionary tale, to the point where the kids are like, this the whole time that I read it, which just makes it worth it to me. So my favorite book to read this week with our students is called Santa's Stuck. Are you familiar with this one? It's so cute. So in this story, the boys and girls in the family leave a whole table, like a feast of desserts for Santa. And even though they've only put a couple out for him, here, I'll show you the picture. Henry Cole, who authors this book, or who illustrates this book, he's actually local here to Northern Virginia. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. And so they've only left him a couple of cookies, but he spies in the other room this whole feast, and he overeats to the point where the button pops off of his jacket like that. And then when he tries to crawl back up the chimney to leave, he gets stuck. And so then the kids are like, I said, I know, he got stuck. And then of course, the dog tries to push him, and the cat and the reindeer are pulling, and the kids are all yelling, pull, push. And then at the end, he gets out because a little mouse drives a toy bulldozer, and it's the cutest little thing. this little mouse here drives a toy bulldozer and pushes them out of the chimney. But then I always say to the students now, this is important to remember, because if you leave too many cookies for Santa on Saturday night and he eats them all, then he might get stuck in your chimney. And then they're all like, I said, yes, so we've got to decide how many cookies is the right number to leave for Santa. So then they're like, just one. And then a couple of kids are like, no, my mom said you can have 2 cookies, that, two's okay. And then they're like, well, what about 4? There's 4 kids in my family. And some other kids are like, no, 4's too many. So we ended up today, I think, my pre-K kids decided that 2 cookies is the right number of cookies to leave for Santa. And if you leave any more than that, he might get so big in his belly, and his button might pop off, and when he tries to leave your house, he'll get stuck. And so the kids are like, and I just love to do that the last week of school, because as soon as they go home, they're saying to their moms, like, we cannot make too many cookies for Santa or he'll get stuck in our chimney. So it's just fun to keep them entertained, to keep them happy, and really, Jem and I have mentioned in an older video about, when things get a little crazy, which the truth of the matter is they are a little crazy the week before Christmas. The best teachers, the best laid plans, the best students, the best classroom, everything is a little 8 baloney crazy this last week before Christmas. Or if it's not, maybe you need to leave me your tips in the comments, because I think for 12 years it's always just a tad bit crazy the week before Christmas. And so the trick is just, you have 2 choices basically. Like, you can just hang your head and wallow and cry about how crazy it is, or you just laugh. And so we just choose to laugh, and keep the kids laughing and keep them smiling and happy, because it really is a very magical time of year for 3 and 4-year-olds, and as stressful and crazy it is for us for teachers, as it is for us as teachers. We just need to just keep that magic alive for them. So those are some of the tips and tricks that I have, and some of the circle time activities that we're doing in our class this week to survive the week before Christmas. I hope that helps you. The name of the book is Santa's Stuck. I'll leave a link to it, by Rhonda Galler Green, and illustrated by Henry Cole. And yours have been crazy since Thanksgiving. True story. Same here. I'm just trying to be generous. I know, they start to, as soon as they see December on the calendar, it's like at the beginning of October when they think the whole month is Halloween. I think it's the same in December. They see us switch, the calendar to December, and then they're like, it's Christmas. And I'm like, it's not. We've got 4 weeks. Oh, goodness. So I hope you have a wonderful last week of school. We will be back on tomorrow to touch base with you. Hopefully you can join us on Facebook Live here right after noon. It'll probably be about 1:30. And I hope you have a wonderful, magical week with your students. Just keep smiling. Have fun playing and learning, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.